With almost 1,200 nights, Shy Time is My Time's Blackfalcon Army stood out at Brickworld Chicago. This is Shy Time is My Time's massive army. Shy, why don't you walk us through what this army is all about?
All right, so check it. This is my Blackfalcon Army. It's pretty much a culmination of all the levels within my YouTube series for my Blackfalcon Army. So as you see right now, there are about 1,126, that's 1,126 minifigures right in front of me right here. They all have a purpose. They're not just clones on a base plate. Each unit has a story on their own. If you look around, you can start with the flanks with the horses and we can work our way in. The cavalry is on the outside. We have the lance, more heavier cavalry in the front with the archer cavalry and fast maneuvering cavalry on the right, and then the elephants behind that. As you can see, the cavalry and the elephants are on the side. They're not just kind of placed there. It's strictly so they can go outwards in case the enemy is to the flanks of the army. But being that as a basis of why they're standing the way they are, this is a formation of where I'm currently at with my Blackfalcon series, which is they're just going to stand in front of the castle because they have no supply, so they can't go anywhere. So they're just going to stand in front of it. So until I can get a supply chain, they will venture out into the realm and fight the enemy that is inevitably going to make themselves present.
So what kind of different ranks do we got here in the middle of the army?
So in the middle, we have, starting from the front, we have the royal kind of court head HQ area. We have the king, queen, their personal guard, and then we have Valkyrie Knights behind that. Now, yes, this isn't historically accurate. It is a fantasy army based obviously off of European lore, I guess, or like culture, armor. I guess that's more thing to say that, right? But you know, there's different color skin tones. I decided to go in that route just because I like the way they look. But in the front ranks, you have more veterans. So if you look at the banners, you have the triple stripe chevrons, as opposed to if you go back, you'll start seeing single chevrons or two chevrons, which indicate the level of their experience. So in the very front ranks, you'll see they're more heavier, they have more armor, they have the feather plumes, they're not so much uniformed because they've been doing this for a very long time. And if you keep going around towards the back, you'll start seeing, the halberds are still more of elite, and then they start going lower towards the end. You have archers kind of mixed in with lances, just kind of strategically placed where they all can't get knocked out right away if like a giant catapult ball just goes right through them. So, but to the left of the army though, you have what Brad wouldn't consider Blackfalcons, but I do from the online, or not online, but in-store build a minifig. So these are really hard to get, and the reason why these ones are special to me and why I want to include them into the army is because these were such hard to get when they came out. So my friends throughout the YouTube community and Instagram community, when they found them, they picked them up for me. So this is the reason why they're special, because the YouTube community gave me this, as opposed to me trying to find them on my own, even though I did. But if you want to go back into the lore of what's happening behind them on the horses, it's kind of like a foreign legion. You have different shields from different factions. So you have different knights coming in to pledge their allegiance to the king of this realm of the Blackfalcons to continue the fight with whatever they end up doing. So, and then behind you have the facade castle.
And you got a little bit of the details from the 3-in-1 castle in there.
Yes, yes. So the concept of the castle facade is pretty simple. I kind of did go off a little bit of inspiration from the medieval castle 3-in-1. You have the yellow and blue accents, which is a pretty obvious trait from that castle. And then the single 2-tower gate, which is obviously in that castle as well. So like with that, I wanted to keep the castle gray, like clean gray, because the Falcons just built this castle. What's inevitably going to happen is a siege is going to take place. They're going to get attacked. So then it's going to start turning gray, green, dark bluish gray, and it's not going to look as clean as it did before. There's going to be patchwork walls going to be broken down. You're going to have wooden placements and stuff like that.
How long did it take you to set this up? Like, this is a massive army.
Oh, man. Okay, so I've done this multiple times, obviously. This is my third time putting it all together. I got here starting to set up at 1 o'clock p.m. on Wednesday. I didn't leave till 2 a.m. Wednesday. Oh, Thursday. Yeah, that's right, right? Sorry.
So about 12 hours?
12 hours.
12 hours?
12 hours. Now, everyone's probably gonna ask how'd I get it here. I'm from LA. We're not in LA. I didn't drive, I flew. So luckily for me, I have these organized in bags already, so I don't really take them apart. They're just separated by unit already. But the castle though, didn't survive so well. That was in a checked bag and it didn't make it quite as it did. But the gate in itself cracked in half, it was cool. The walls crumbled in, so those were destroyed. The little miniature tower, so the Archer Tower and the small gate, that survived. But the corner builds, those I have to take apart regardless. I can't transport it like that. So they're made through panels. So there's 6 panels all the way around on each side on top of the walls. So because of that shape, there's no safe way of putting that in a suitcase. So those took a while to build, but at least those weren't destroyed. So technically, on the way over here, on the plane ride, it did pretty well.
Any advice to army builders who want to build something as crazy as this?
I recommend anyone that wants to armor build outside of Star Wars. That's different. If you're trying to get a classic armor build in any form of Lego, whether that be policemen, space, knights, and hopefully soon Imperials, online pick a build.
And each of these figures are basically just from the pick a build wall,
Yes,
right?
so you
didn't buy 1,000 blacksmiths?
No. So online pick a build is the best place to army build, only because you can get them for the cheapest price. That beats out Bricklink, that beats out eBay, or wherever you decide to find your minifigs. And if you do it right, do them during double VIP, do it during GWPs, and it'll be more worth the buy. And at $4 a fig, $5 a fig, it's a lot better for your buck if you're trying to get more than 10.
All right, last question. What is the next step of this army?
I need a supply chain. So currently right now I am building 12 wagons, so that way the army can project itself from where they are right now. Technically the army can't go anywhere because they don't have a supply. Armies can't do anything with supply. So right now, supply and artillery are the next 2 things I'm focusing on for this army. So ballistas, catapults, stuff like that, to include wagons and transport. Once that happens, you're gonna see different units go on a patrol, or while that happens, they're gonna have a little bit of storyline to find an enemy that's inevitably gonna fight this army. It doesn't end right here. Other factions are gonna be involved in the storyline to include the Lion Knights and the Forestmen, and maybe some more smaller factions that we are classic Castle fans all know and love. But what's inevitably gonna happen at the very end, there's a huge skeleton army about double the size of this that they're gonna fight.
If people want to find more of this, where can they find it?
Shy Time is my time, Instagram, YouTube, look for me there. And yeah, thanks, dude.